We have created a plugin that goes into VS Code, an open source editor that automates a lot of the workflow of active learning exercises within a computation class. The very first thing you need to do to use this plugin is to go to plugins and download the 1XE or 1XI plugin, as you can see here. And once you do that, you can come back to the listing of files and we will walk through a sample exercise where we will use the core components of this plugin. Now, behind the scenes, you should know that all of the data, all of the interactions that the user is making with the editor and with the code are being captured. And ultimately, when this code is submitted, it is captured in a backend. During the workflow of the students, the communication is not being posted directly to the server, simply to give fast interactions to those working with code. So let's go ahead and get started. The very first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to log in. As you can see here, I'm going to enter my username. I'm then going to enter my email. And I'm then going to save my password. So I'm going to choose the option there to save my password. And after entering return, you can see there that I get a couple of acknowledgments. So I'm going to go ahead and close these. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to download an exercise. And I do it by selecting that icon. And I should say that those buttons only appear after you have installed the plugin. So I'm going to go ahead here and select exercise. And then I'm going to scroll down and select an exercise on K nearest neighbor. After that, it'll ask me to confirm the path that I want that exercise to go into. And I'm actually going to place that within the following path. Here we go. I'm going to hit return, and that code is being pulled down as we speak. If I show you my directory, you can see there that I now have that folder, and if I walk into it, you would see its contents. In this case, I'm simply going to choose the option that the plugin gives me to open up that folder directly into the editor. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And as you can see there, on the left-hand side, we get all of the contents of that repository, and we have a number of exercises here that we could get started on. I'm not going to perform the exercise, but I will simply move on to the evaluation. The other icon that I'll show you is this one here. And as you can see, this one tests the code. Now, assuming you have made changes, you would be able to get some feedback on whether that was correct or not. In our case, I'm going to go ahead and select it anyway. And you can see there that it's going through the testing suite. It has downloaded all of the required packages, and it has run that against the code that you have. So I'm going to go ahead here and go through the feedback. As you can see here, it is giving you some information about what it's testing, and it's telling you that 2 of those exercises are failing. Now, the last step of this, once you feel comfortable with what the feedback you're getting is, you would go ahead and submit this code back to the repository. And then it would become available to the teaching staff. And as I mentioned, during that action as well, we would collect all of the data that the student generated while interacting with the code. So with that, I'll go ahead and close, and I invite you to download this code and download this plugin and play with the exercises.